Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Power Pact pre-conference. It's a conversation that we're going to be having tonight as we dig deep into a game-changing discussion with a man who knows exactly how to build, a man who knows exactly how to scale, a man who knows exactly how to sustain success. The incredible EIZU is already backstage. My name is Sunmbo Adeoye, and I'm going to be hosting you tonight. If you are a business owner, you're a career professional, or you're someone looking to make more money with grit, guts, and God, then you can afford to miss this. Call all your sisters, all your friends, all your goal-getting friends to come on this stream. Share this stream with all your friends and family and get ready to unlock strategies that will transform your mindset, strategies that will transform your business, strategies that will transform your financial future. But before we go into that conversation, EIZU is already backstage with me. I see you all. Please put it in the comment section. Tell me, what is the biggest money challenge you are currently facing? Where are you connected from? And what industry do you play in? Please put it in the comment section. I'll be reading it and then I'll get to know you. Hi, Candy. Welcome. We're going on a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with EIZU after this.
Come on now.
EIZU NWAOMA is a seasoned expert in strategy, corporate restructuring, and management consulting. He is the founder and managing director of EIZU, a business and management consulting firm. With a strong academic background, he holds a degree in mathematics, 3 master's degrees, a PMP certification, and is pursuing a PhD. He is a certified member of the Project Management Institute, PMI USA, NIM, and ISMN, and serves on multiple boards. A serial entrepreneur and facilitator, EIZU has over a decade of experience in corporate restructuring, design thinking, startup consulting, and project management. Beyond consulting, he is an author, a contributing writer for Business Day, a mentor at the Tony Elumelu Foundation, a TED speaker, and a regular thought leader on Arise News. He also hosts a weekly radio show. Let's make welcome to the Inspiring Change Conference 2025. EIZU NWAOMA.
Hi guys.
Hello, Mr. Eagle. You are welcome. How you doing tonight?
Pretty well. Your signature open teeth.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I can hear you clearly. I can see you. All our participants are already in the comment section dropping the messages for you. But tonight's conversation is going to be controlled by the topic. Tonight we're talking on making more money with grit, guts, and God in competitive markets. And I know that this is one area where you play massively when it comes to business. So I'm not going to disturb you at all. I'm going to give you the floor to share your thoughts on this very topic. And I will come back to take questions. And if it hits me too deep, I'm definitely going to be interjecting you. So you have the floor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Adeoye. You've been amazing. I must say this. It's a lot of
just call me Sunmbo. Feel free to call me
You've been super amazing. I'm quite new to this particular platform, the StreamYard. We're all used to Zoom, Meet, and them. Right, so I can deep dive. Confirm you can hear me pretty well. Everything works pretty well. All right.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
I like how creative you are thinking. I like to say that if you're a writer, you probably write the kind of books you love to read. If you're a singer, you sing the kind of songs you love to listen to. I guess you're just trying to create the kind of audience and kind of crowd for what you want to listen to. I love the creative energy around it. 3Gs. In the secular world, we say be afraid of 3Gs, right? God, gun, and government. That's what they say on the streets. 3 people that can change your life is God, gun, and government. But I like the fact that you've created a new metaphor for it, which is also 3Gs, great gods and God. Right? Maybe I'll start off with the same order, great. And I feel sad about this particular generation, and I'll tell you why. I'm a huge fan of futurism, and I've come to realize that what's happened over the years is that every generation comes with their own characteristics. You know, at any given point, there are 4 generations alive. And let me do a disclaimer here, guys. So pardon me, my first degree is mathematics. I might get a bit analytical with stuff, right? And I throw in figures. I'm a figure person.
Yes.
Right. So in every existence, there is average of 4 generations alive. A generation is about 25.4 years. So that means an average life expectancy is about 60 something. Maximum you live is 100 years. In that 100 years, which is what you call a century, there are 4 generations alive. Stay with me. At any given point, there's 4 generations alive. Like right now, there are 4 generations alive. I think we have the baby boomers, we have the Gen X, right? We have the millennials, we have the Gen Zs, and a new one is coming up, which is called the Alpha generation. Every generation comes with something they are known for. Now, everybody must have heard of people make silly jokes about Gen Z's mental health, right? I think Gen Z's have mental health issues and all that. But more importantly, there's something nobody's talking about a lot, and it's the fact that millennials are very successful. But the problem with millennials being successful is that they're going to give birth to Gen Zs, right, who are not as tough as them. There's a famous saying, and I'll start the session with that saying. It says, hard times create strong men, right? Strong men, hard times create strong men, right? Strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men turn around to create hard times. Let me say it again. Hard times create strong men. And this question is on grades. One thing that there's no course in university anywhere in the world that teaches grades. And grit is simply called the staying power of anything. We live in a generation where people don't stay long enough in anything, right? If it's too hard, I break up, right? From even talking stage, people are breaking up already, right? If it's too difficult, I quit my job. Now, Gen Z don't even tender resignation, they just stop coming to work. Now, there's a problem, and that problem is called staying power. And staying power, the word for it is great. Now, hard time create tough. Hard time, let me say the quote again, and stay with me to understand how powerful this quote is. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men turn around to create hard times again. So one of the first factors for success is the ability for you to stay long enough in something, and that's great. And that thing comes from hard times. And I don't want to shake tables here, but I don't like, there's a particular part of our religion we don't like. I don't like, and I'm Christian, and one of them is the fact that there's an illusion that because you follow God's commandments and you worship God, you're not going to go through pain. I think that is highly misleading, because even if you look at the books are popular reading like the Lord's Prayer and the Lord is my shepherd, right? You shall see that there's a particular quote that says, even though you walk through the valley of shadow of death, you shall fear no evil. Am I right? Madam Sunmbo, you're a better Christian than I am, I believe.
Yes.
You know this verse is not true.
Yes,
yes. Even though I walk through the valley of, even though you walk through the valley of shadow of death.
That's it.
Yes, you walk through, right? And there are different versions of it. There are different dispositions of the same thing in different verses, right? Right? I will be with you. It did not stop you from going through it, right? So the first thing first is failure is part of this journey. I hate the fact that people think that failure is the opposite of success. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. Right? Because if you don't understand this, you can't understand grace. Right? Pain is okay. Discomfort is okay. One of the first things, if you're going to be successful, is that you're going to get used to being uncomfortable. You've got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. Right? I have a 5-year-old and I have a 3-year-old, and I'm trying in my own small ways to teach them that. My wife is a huge advocate of gentle parenting. Honestly, I understand it only halfway, right? Because gentle parenting means don't shout at the kids, don't raise your voice, don't beat them, right? Try to, as much as you can, safeguard them from trouble and from pain. And I think that it's okay, right? Oh, it's okay for your child to cry because it's going to go through life, right? With ups and downs. Tears is part of the process. So grit is one of the things, and let me digress a bit. There are certain things that we don't pay attention to that make great people, right? And one of the things that we think makes greatness is intelligence. And great intelligence is highly, highly exaggerated. If you put intelligence and you put grit side to side, that means Mr. A has intelligence, highly intelligent, and Mr. B has grit. And you ask me who will be more successful in 10 years' time, guess what? I'm not going to choose intelligent guy. Because mathematically, intelligence, if you draw the curve of intelligence to success, is not linear. It is actually called, in mathematics, we call it an inverted U shape. You know when you draw a curve and it goes up and at a point it stops and it starts coming down. If you look at that curve, it's U shape, inverted U shape, like U upside down, like the law of diminishing return. I don't know, Madam Sunmbo, I don't know if you remember economics, the law of diminishing return, right?
Yes, I
the
remember.
law of marginal diminishing return, marginal propensity possibility curve. The law of curves that are inverted U shape. Inverted U shape means that if you do it, it gets higher. If you do it, it gets higher. Then if you do more, it doesn't get higher. It stops. Then it starts coming down.
Yes.
I'll give a good example. Intelligence. To be successful, you need to be intelligent, but only to a point. That means the more intelligent you get, you'll be successful. The more intelligent you get, successful. Then you get to a point where extra intelligence, call it marginal output, where extra intelligence does not guarantee extra success. Matter of fact, if you add one more layer of intelligence, it starts to become anti-success. In other words, you can be more intelligent to succeed. If you doubt me, go back to your university yearbook and check those guys that made first class, who sat in front of the class, wore glasses, look annoying, they will not teach you anything. In exam, if you ask them anything, they will not answer you.
EIZU, don't say that. Exactly. This is so correct. This is so correct. Oh my God, this is so correct. With life.
I run a company called Xavier. In my team, almost everybody on my team made the first class. Almost everybody made the first class, apart from me. Apart from me. So I work with the most intelligent people, and I see this problem. So first of all, intelligence overrated. I'm not saying don't read book. I'm not saying don't go to school. I mean, I'm not in a position to say that. I have a first degree in mathematics. I'm somewhat an ethical. I have 3 master's degree. I'm actually doing a new master's side a PhD. That's going to be 4 masters. And my goal is if I turn 41, 42, I'm going to have 2 PhDs. So I know what intelligence is, but it's overrated. Like playing basketball. To play basketball, you need to be tall, but you can be too tall to play basketball.
Very true.
That the more tall you become, you will be a great basketball player.
Yeah.
That's why if you look at Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, the greater basketball players, they're not exactly very tall. So what now is more important? One is consistency. So that guy that is very intelligent, but jumps up and down after he graduated from school, he's changed job 4 times. The guy that he said is a 2-2 guy who graduated starts a small business because he didn't make a first class, a 2-1. Most companies will not hire him. He starts a small hustle, but stays long enough in that hustle, he will grow. I remember I saw an interview by Jay-Z, Sean Carter, one of the richest black entertainers in the world, the husband to Beyonce. You all know Beyonce. And they asked him, what's the most genius thing you did in your life? He said, the most genius thing I did in my life is that I didn't give up. So you've got to learn how not to give up. Keep that. So grit is consistency. But the other thing that make up grit, stay in power, being uncomfortable, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, understanding pain, understanding conflict, and being okay to say people might not like you. These are all the elements that make up grit. You won't always be liked. It's okay. Right? Our biggest hero in life as a Christian is Jesus Christ. I was telling somebody something. I said, look, forget the conversation around Jesus Christ that died for us, which is the most selfless everybody can do. But let's look at this logically. Somebody walks into a church. Yeah, what's that? Okay. Somebody walks into a church, right? And brings out a cane and start to flog people in the church. Does that story sound familiar? Right? Walks in the synagogue, say, why are you selling my father's house? Start to flog people.
Yeah.
This guy, they tell him that his friend is in trouble. He doesn't show up. Right?
Yes.
Does this guy look like the guy who everybody really likes? Like, has he always done the right things? Who like you for them flogging you? Don't forget that in the last days when he was supposed to be crucified, Pontius Pilate did not want his blood in his hands. So he took him to the crowd and said, do you want me to keep this guy? Crucified? Or do you want me to keep the criminal?
The thieves.
What did everybody scream?
What they should kill him and keep the thieves.
Does that give you an idea that
he wasn't
not
liked.
exactly the most liked? By democracy, people said kill him. You know what's painful about people that said kill him? Some of them, they had healed their children. Some of them, they had fed 5,000 loaves, right? Right?
Yes.
So it's okay to stand alone as long as you have strong conviction that what you're doing is right. It's okay for people to say they are not going to buy from you. It's okay for you to show up and cry. But tomorrow you go again. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. But there are other elements too. Beyond consistency, beyond staying power, beyond sometimes saying you don't like to like me, it's okay. Beyond negative review, because some of you don't have tough skin. You post your first work, people laugh at you, you stop doing it on Instagram because people did not like it. But let me tell you the truth. The guy you admire, go back to his first post, you will laugh at him too.
Fact. That's true.
Matter of fact, if your first work, for people who are successful, if you go back to your first work and you're not ashamed of yourself, you probably started late. I was on a Rise News last week. I'm usually on a Rise News, right? And nobody's giving me hype. And you know, you always have this one friend who knows you like the back of your hand, who would jokingly yap you. This guy goes ahead and gives me a throwback video of me as a teenager on AM Express. But I don't know if you know AM Express, you know, NT back then.
I do, yes.
I said, I beg, don't go try him or don't go post him. He says, EIZU, pay me money or I'll post it. I go fall your hand. I was laughing. I said, okay, don't go try him. Don't go spend my career. I looked malnourished. I was literally stammering on air.
Oh
do I stop? No.
No, you didn't stop.
Right? You keep going. Your greatest, the pastor you admire, do you want me to throw his throwback picture? Right? There's a guy who came to Nigeria I think it was last week or so. John Legend. I don't know if you know John Legend, one of the greatest artists of our generation. Multi-Grammy Award, right?
Yes.
John, I was reading an article about John Legend. His real name is John Steven, right? This guy went to Howard, right? His performance at Howard, he got booed, thrown stone. They told him off the mic, right? They chased him out of stage. The guy comes back almost 30 years later to perform. Hall was massed out full. This time, his name was not His name was John Legend, one of the greatest artists. I was trying to go to a John Legend concert. They're telling me to pay 5 million naira for a table to go and watch John Legend. 5 million naira. Some people are paying as much as 10 million naira. But that's what happens. Does that make sense? But let me tell you the other part of it, and I'll move on to the other G. To grades. Let me call it 5 ships. Or let me call it 4 ships. One is ownership. You are not going to successfully, you cannot take ownership. When you say a family of 5 siblings, a family of 7, 5 siblings, I can tell you in dinner table, the one that will be very successful. Right? It doesn't have to do with intelligence. It has to do with the guy that takes ownership in the family. You know when your father comes home and says, somebody take out this glass, and he walks into his room. And when he comes back, the glass is still there. Because he said, somebody take out this glass, he didn't mention anybody's name. And there are 5 children sitting in the parlor. The one that usually stand up to pick up the glass, watch him. That's the guy destined for success. Ownership. Own issues. In your team, the guy that shows up. You know, in my small team, I was having a conversation with them. I forgot something. I was going to go on Arise News, and then I would need someone to do me a quick recap of the highlights of what's happened. And then I sent the message very late, and everybody had closed from work. And one of the girls, I tagged a lady in my team, and I said, please, can you give me a summary of this thing? And the lady responded like in 2 hours. It was around like 9. I said, please, can you understand this is weekend? I'm sorry, this was my fault. If you can't do it, it's okay. The girl sent me a message by 11 saying, oh, I'm really sorry. Why you have that question? I was in church. This said, I can't hold it against her. First, it was out of work. Second, it was out of work hours. 2 is she was already in church before she saw the message. I said, no problem. I said, okay, please, can everybody here help me? I don't have a big team, a large team. I turned around to my wife and I said, look, I don't mention anybody's name, but I bet you the person who would send me this thing.
who will take up that role.
I was right. And I said to myself, if there was a gamble, I'll bet my life on this guy that in 10 years will be successful. Because I've seen this over and over again. Ownership. Be the guy that takes ownership. The world is full of problems. The guy that succeeds, the guy that chooses one problem, takes ownership of it, and spends his whole life solving the problem. So when people say, oh, Dangote, Rabiu of Boa, Adenuga, right? This name rings a bell, right? Richest man in the world. And I said, look, think about these guys. These guys are the guys who have taken one problem that Nigeria knows, takes ownership of it, and spends years. I mean, because of Dangote, there will probably never be queue in our filling stations anymore. Who in Nigeria does not know that queue and Nigeria is 5 and 6 in filling stations, especially
festive seasons.
Last year, for the first time, there was no queue in Nigeria during festive period because our refinery is working. One guy took a problem, stayed long enough and solved it. Nigeria has 200 million problems, in my own opinion. Choose one and just stay long enough in it. One ship, ownership. The second one is leadership. People who lead. And what's leadership? Leadership is influence. We know that. They say that all the time. But leadership is summed up as 3 things. The guy that knows the way, goes the way, and can show the way. 3 things will happen. He must be the one who knows it, loves to learn, shows it. Don't learn to be theoretical, but to apply it. You know, some of us can quote all the Bible verses. We know all the parts of the Bible that has Holy Ghost, but the way we live our life is Casper the Ghost, right? We know the Holy Ghost, but we are Casper the Ghost, right? We can theorize it. We know all the parts of the Bible it is, we're not living it. Know it, go it, and one more thing, show it. Show is when you get to the top, come back and show people the road to the top. Know the way, go the way, and show the way in that order. Third, partnership. I know they've told you that to be successful, you must work hard. Yes, work hard is part of great, but there's something they don't tell you. You cannot work hard enough. You cannot work your way. You cannot work your way to extreme wealth, which you need to making money. So when you want to make money, you need to decide which pyramid you want to make, which level you want to make money. There are 5 levels in the wealth ladder. 5 levels. It's like a pyramid with 5 steps. The first step is called financial crisis. 98% of Nigerians are in financial crisis. Financial crisis means that you are a liability to other people. Think about the salary you collected. Madam Sunmbo, this month alone, tell me that you have not helped somebody this month.
I've helped several people.
Something happened, maybe in the village, your friend, your money has not left your account for something that does not concern you. Somebody has not called in the village to say that grandma or my auntie swallowed shovel and I need money. A lot of people are living on handout. CBN reports. I warned you guys, I'm going to be sharing data. CBN reports says that, let me bust your head. Nigeria has 200 million people, right? Do you know how many millionaires in dollars we have in Nigeria? 10,000 out of 200 million. That is 0.0024%. I didn't say 0.1. I didn't say 0.1. I said 0.002. That's how poor we are. 98% of Nigerians don't have 500K in their account, according to CBN. 98% of Nigerians. Do you know what 500K is converted to dollars? The lowest level of Nigerians are financial crisis. Then the second level, which is called financial instability. Financial crisis means that you're liability to people constantly. Hope you know on your WhatsApp. There are people that if you check up on them now, money must leave your account tomorrow.
Very true. Amen.
Check up on them, money will leave your account. Right? If you how you do, voila, you're big for trouble. Okay, we'll never chop today. Okay, so the following story, they sent you a picture of somebody in the hospital with drip. And they are not lying. That's just the situation of who they are. You know, I do evening walks. After this, I'm still in the office now because of this meeting. after this, I'm going to take my driver will drop my car. I'll walk back to the house because my house and my office is not far, right? So I go through my estate, right? And my security guys, I know them because I take walks morning and night. So they know me, I know them. I can tell you that I can put 20K in my pocket. By the time I pass the door,
by the time they say, "Oga, welcome, oh, I work today, money will finish."
I'm telling you, one will tell that they're not paying them down. The month is already third, fourth,
and
right?
they're not lying.
And they're not lying. Financial crisis. Then second one is financial instability. Right? They're not stable. Today they might have money, tomorrow they might have money. Like the security guy I'm telling you about, it's not in financial crisis, it's financial instability. If they pay him today, he's fine. But by the end of middle of the month, he will broke again. I mean, think about it. The security guy, they pay 80K. How many security companies pay 80K? But 80K when you have 3 children, even if they're in government school, even food, but as somebody, you know how much you're spending in the house. So you imagine 80K somebody spent. So that's financial instability. Then there's now the third level, which is financial stability. So a lot of us are in this financial stability. We are stable, but God forbid something drastic happens. Like God forbid there is a kidney problem, you need to raise money. They go put your picture for Instagram because you need to raise 80 million naira or 50 million naira. So if you have financial stability, you are in a delicate balance to fall back to financial instability. You're okay.
Before we go further, you see this particular category of people are the ones I want us to address. They are comfortable, very comfortable, but if anything comes to shake the table, it just moves them to the level of being a beggar. How can people who are, trying their best, to fulfill purpose, to have a earning power that is stable, to still show up for family, to still contribute, like when they check up on their friends, they're still able to contribute and they don't go bankrupt. I have seen growing up, we were used to seeing people who work with their neck down earn money. And then with time, with generational shift, we started seeing people who work with their neck up earning more money. Now in this generation, we have a mix of the two. Some are very creative. They're using their neck up to earn money, while some are using both the neck up and the neck down. That means they're sustaining their wealth with physical energy as well as with their brains and all of this. How can people in this category who have tried all their best, but because of this, competitive market, they are not able, to just move past that stage? And you have told us now that it's not extra intelligence that they need, even though, getting more grades is a good thing. It's not extra intelligence that they need. What can they really tap into that can help them move their wealth to the point where it can become sustainable, where they will be able to take up Nigerian problems and solve it? Because honestly, it takes a lot of guts to take up certain problems to solve it.
Madam Sunmbo, first of all, can you see my screen? I'm trying to share my screen, my slide. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. You want me to add it to the screen?
Yeah, can you see? I'm sharing my screen, so I don't know what you're seeing right now. Can you see like a PowerPoint slide?
Yes.
Okay, what can you see? Can you read it out? Let me see.
Let me add it real quick.
Oh, okay, you need to add it. Okay, let me know what you do. So, because I'm about to get to the meat of this conversation. And while we're at level 3, I say most people are there. Let me explain, because that brings into the conversation the next one, which is guts, right? I'm explaining grits beyond staying power, beyond consistency. You must have a culture of ownership, a mindset of ownership, a mindset of leadership, a mindset of partnership. You cannot work your way to success by intelligence or by hard work. There are 2 elements that are important to get to the door, but they cannot keep you there, right? Partnership will, yes. And that brings me to the conversation around partnership. How would you become more successful? That's what I was driving at. But before I get to partnership, I want to explain, like, I'm in level 3. A lot are level 3, but if you don't have gods, you'll be comfortable in level 3. A lot of people don't see beyond financial stability. There's 2 more rooms up there, 2 more steps. Right, Madam? So I'm sure you know this thing. You've heard it before. You know the many 2 steps, right? Do you? Madam Soma, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm still here. Okay. I'm backstage. I muted my mic. So sorry.
Okay. The 2 more
so that
steps.
You can have the floor.
Okay. The 2 more steps is after financial stability is financial independence and eventually financial freedom. Financial independence is the point where you are good, you're fine. No matter what happens, you're okay. But financial freedom is you have freedom for time, freedom for location, and freedom for finance. Financial freedom is beyond just having money to do. Financial freedom is that place where you can buy anything without looking at the price tag. When you walk into a restaurant, you are not choosing the lowest food, even if it's a hotel. When you walk into a car lot, you can buy any car. Me too, I'm praying to be there. I'm not even there yet. Where I can go into, look, I have a client, right? He owns a company called EIZU. They sell private jet, they own private jet, they own the Hilton. I don't know if you know the Hilton. There are 2 Hiltons in Nigeria. Transcorp Hilton and Hilton Legend. They own the Legend. I sit there and I see some people that have 3 private jets. Right? I was talking to one of the owner of private jet and I said, I was coming up with him at the airport and I said to him, did you repaint your G-Wagon? You know, I laughed and said, EIZU. How can I repaint G-Wagon? I said, because I know you have a black G-Wagon. How come you have a white G-Wagon? Did you sell your black G-Wagon? I said, no, I bought another one.
Bought a new one.
I bought another one. I said, why did you buy another one? You know what the guy said to me? The weirdest thing ever. He says, because their G62 is not cheap. It's over 200 million naira. The guy said to me, like, you know, I just gave birth. I said, yes. He says, well, my newborn baby is allergic to the seat of the other one.
Ha.
Like, your baby is allergic to the seat of a G-Wagon, so you bought another one.
In this Nigeria, not abroad.
That is financial freedom. His grandchildren are fine. Right? He's even an old money. So his grandfather we were in a room one day and there was an argument with somebody in this country that we all know. I know what he said to the guy. He said, look, who is your father? Asked about my grandfather. He said, this is what the guy said. Guess what? My grandfather borrowed Nnamdi Azikiwe Awolowo money to go and look for independence for our country. And I fact checked that was true. He said, when Nnamdi Azikiwe and Awolowo was traveling, my father gave them money. My grandfather gave them money. That is financial freedom. He's not getting successful because he's hardworking. Somebody has done the hard work 3 generations before. Right? So how can we get to 4th and 5th? That's the meat of the question. Let me tell you. That brings us to guts and partnership. First of all, hard work is for average people, but you must have it. Smart work will move you closer, but strategic partnership will get you there. People who live in banana island are not living banana island by working hard.
So easy, say that again. Hard work will shakini.
Interesting.
Say that again.
Hard work for average people. If you want to know hardworking people, tomorrow morning by 5:30 a.m., go to Oshodi bus stop. You see hardworking guys. If you go to Oshodi by now, you see people in traffic in bus stop. Go to Lekki Phase 1 bus stop. You see them. Right? They're waiting for bus. And there's nothing wrong with them. I'm not trying to play down their hard work. But that's where it ends. They will work. They will
I was there at some point. Yes, I was there.
Honestly, they are not honestly living. You make it honest living, but in all honesty, you are not honestly living because you do that until you turn 50, 60 something, high blood pressure, diabetes, right? They just get by. You are not going to buy a house in Banana Land by working hard. The guys that I was cracking a joke to somebody. I said one morning I had the early morning session. I had to be at the place at 7 o'clock. I don't leave my house till 9 most of the time because I drop my kids in school. It's part of my routine. So I must drop my kids in school for 8 before I start going to work, right? That's freedom. I'm not working for anybody, so I can drop my children in school before I go home, right?
That's financial freedom.
So this one time, I drop my kids in school. That's freedom. That's location. It's called location freedom, actually, not financial freedom. The ability to work from anywhere. Madam Sunmbo, you will not beat me if I'm zooming live right now from the beach, provided my network is good. And I say, hey, my name is EIZU, I'm from the beach, I'm in Maldives. You didn't say, bro, boss, I can do that. If you work for somebody, you're not going to do that.
You
right?
won't be able to
But
do
let
that
me
if
get
you
back to
work
my
for
commission. So
someone.
that's what I'm bragging.
Yeah.
Financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom. Only your time. People forget that when you become wealthy, you pay people for your time so you can do what they want to do. Salary is somebody paying for 30 days, 9 to 5 every day. That's what salary is. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with it, but that's not how you get to level 4 and level 5. Once in a while, people get to level 4 and level 5. From that, in mathematics, call them statistical outliers. So how do you get there? Partnership. Build partnerships. So I and my wife started a business 2 years ago. Right? 2 years ago, started a business. It's a food brand. It's a retail brand. It's a retail shop, right? It's a fresh, healthy food brand. Guys, in 2 years, we have built 10. We opened our 10th location last week. So when I tell people this story, people come into the side and say, "How do you build 10 locations?" Well, we try to do 100 in maybe in the next 10 years. Chicken Republic has over 100 branches, so it's doable.
Wow. Yes.
It came from just one partnership. Just one partnership. So we're in partnership with iFitness, right? Everywhere there's a new branch, we're there. iFitness has 2 branches, so we have that. I mean, I'm just busy enough for each of to set up a branch, you need at least 30, 40 million, right? But that's what partnership does for you. When iPhone started, iPhone rode on partnership with Verizon, right? With AT&T. The direct impact of that is that 1 billion iPhones are on today. If they were to open store for each shop to say iPhone, you will not have 1 billion people using iPhone. Partnership is how you grow. Does that make sense? So you must. So for example, you sell clothes, right? Mm-hmm. You're a fashion designer. Partnership means, right? Can you partner, for example, with this type of events to say, look, can I have 5 minutes every time Sunmbo is on a platform like this to talk about my brand and to give out 20% discount to anything we sell or 50% discount, because that makes Sunmbo look good, right? Sunmbo, come to Sunmbo's class, you always buy something for cheap, but you're making more money. Does that make sense? One of our clients, we're business and management consultants, we spent 10 years building businesses. Yeah. Our core is startup as Restructuring. We built over 200 businesses in Nigeria. We are consulting for over 500 businesses. I'll tell you a story of Ogunlesi. Everyone knows Ogunlesi, Rough and Tumble.
Rough and Tumble.
We've been their consultant for a while, right? I'll tell you a practical story, right? Rough and Tumble was known for children brand, but the amount of partnership Rough and Tumble has with schools. There are schools where high-end schools where people, they even have like a clique. They call them Rough and Tumble kids. The cool kids in those schools wear Rough and Tumble. You see what partnership does? So every inter-house sports, Rough and Tumble is
there. Even Arts and Culture Day, Rough and Tumble styles some, students in some schools.
Fantastic. Go to any Rough and Tumble during Career Day or Art and Culture Day. See crowd of people trying to buy clothes for their children.
And they sell indigenous.
Yes. How you build growth from level 3 to 4 and 5 is not hard work, it's not intelligence. I know some of you are not used to this type of commissions. It's not. The most hardworking
it is not hard work, it's not intelligence, but partnership is a game changer.
Yes. Partnership is the game changer.
Can you please take this scenario of someone who just launched a bracelet business, and a bracelet? I'm using this scenario because my niece just launched a wrist band collection. You can find her on TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere at Kim as AI. That is KYMASAI. So she just launched this and she's selling each one. But the best way to wear it is to stack it up in like 4 or 5.
So it's it's called accessories, right?
Yes.
Fashion accessories.
Like
right?
wrist handy fashion accessory. What
so let me just
form of partnership can she
check a brand? Got you. Check a brand that has multiple outlets in fashion. For example, David Wedge, Ouch, Rough and Tumble. I'm talking about brands that have 20 locations, 20 branches, and broker a deal and say, look, I have 1,000 units of these things I've done. Can you give me a small stand? And you know when you do stuff like bracelets, you don't need large square meters. 1 square meter is also okay.
Like a window display, right there.
I'll come back in 1 week to collect money when they sell. Then you go on TikTok and advertise those guys. Hey guys, good news, right? We are now in every Ouch outlet. There are 30
Come on now.
Go there.
Well, that's partnership.
Special code, right? We sell them normally everywhere for maybe 20K, but if you go to Ouch, you get for 15K. Right? You see how it works? Ouch will be grateful because Ouch is trying to get into the Gen Z market, TikTok market.
And you are bringing the market that he wants to come to him.
When you see all this AY Life and all these guys say, oh, tickets can be bought at Sweet Sensation, what do you think they're doing? It's partnership now. As they are not on the radio, 1 million people are hearing it on the radio. They are remembering, oh, there's a place called Sweet Sensation. They're going there. So Sweet Sensation is happy that they are mentioning their name. But if you go there, the girls there who are selling food are the ones that will give you the ticket and buy it. So they're also sales girls for them. Think symbiosis. Partnership is not parasitism. If one person is a parasite to another, is not a
it will kill it. Exactly. Yes.
So, and you can do that with other places. Brew the change places. I've noticed that most brew the change companies, most brew the change places in hotels. You know, most big hotels have brew the change. You go to a hotel, you must see a brew the change guy. You go to Transcorp, see a brew the change guy. I guess those are not brew the change places. I also art galleries. Has anyone noticed it?
Yes, I've noticed art galleries in hotels, art galleries at the car shop, art galleries at resort centers.
Let him put his stuff in those places. Brew the change. Let me tell you the advantage. If his bracelet is selling in a hotel and it's sold on the street for 8K, in a hotel you can sell it for 30K, right or wrong? Because it's a hotel. I mean, this is a place where they sell
because the bottled water at a hotel is different from the bottled water on the street.
Because a lot of people that come to Brew the Change came with dollars to change to naira, so they are boxed up. So I've done justice to partnership. Can we move on? And partnership sometimes is
my God, before we move on, hold on. We've done justice to partnership. Oh my God. I mean,
and everybody can do this.
Sessions are blowing up.
Right. I can't see the questions. I'm not on. I don't know how many people are going to listen to this. I'm assuming I'm just talking to you, right? And I'm having fun doing that. I don't even know that was an audience. I didn't even know that was an
audience. That's why we've been projecting some of their comments on the screen. Okay, we have audience. There's a comment button on the right side of your screen. If you click on it, you can see the comment. But don't worry, I'll help you. See, I'll read the comments out to you. Yes, let's go to the next one. And our time is almost up, by the way. We have less than 12 minutes to round up.
So let's quickly go on guts. Guts, because this guts thing is interesting. This guts thing is interesting. Because
I'm going to allow you to speak on guts, and I'll put you as a solo speaker so that you can express yourself. Is that fine?
Absolutely, yes. That's fine, right? So guts, right? And we underestimate the power of guts. If you're a Christian, I don't need to speak this conversation to you because you already know it. Right? Your God, the God you worship, told you to come to this life and multiply. Right? Kingdom mindset is dominion. This world you're in, the guys who are getting more result than you are not necessarily more hardworking or smarter. They have guts that you don't have. And guts is instinct, is risk-taking, and is smart decision-making. Guts is when you get an opportunity Don't second check yourself. Don't doubt yourself whether you're qualified or not. I mean, they say this all the time in church. God does not choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen. That's what they say, right? What this means is very simple. Everything is possible. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you're right. People have guts, and that's how they succeed. The guys who don't end up working for those that have guts. Right? So if you're going to have guts, guts doesn't come naturally. One of the hacks to having guts is to hang around people that have guts. Yes, you grew up in a small neighborhood, you grew up in a small family, right? You grew up in a humble background, right? You've gone through a lot in life. It's dented your self-esteem. When you enter a place, you're looking for the last seat at the back to sit because you don't want to be in the front. You think the front is for doggos. You walk into a room, your head is down instead of your head being up, right? You think you're humble, but you're not being humble. You're just shortchanging yourself. Yes, you've gone through a lot, but nobody says you must look like what you've gone through. I mean, if you're a Christian, nobody's teach you this. Let's look at this objective. And let's crack the joke to people. I say, look, all these guys that say, look, I'll cast and bound the devil, I will do this. If you look at it side to side, right? If you take away your backing, which is the Holy Spirit, the heavens, right? God by your side, can you really face the devil? Why do you have that ability to do that? Because you have a strong conviction in your heart that you have God behind your back. So you can tell the devil, go, and he will go, depart, and he will depart. I cast and bound you, and he cast and bound you. Why don't you use the same ability for other things? For example, you're going to a room and you second check yourself. How you second check when you know the person that created you? I hope this sort of makes sense to us. It's all in your mind, whether you think you can or you think you can't. Either way, you're right. It's your choice. Why don't you just choose that you can? When you have guts, you'll be more ambitious. One thing I've learned is if you hang around people that have guts long enough, you will have guts. I mean, I had a guy who was trying to run a business and he was trying to get a loan for 10 million naira. He was scared to get a loan for 10 million naira. I said, no problem. You're scared of. I looked at the guy's books. His books make sense. He has steady income, steady revenue. His gross profit margin is solid. His net profit is solid. The projection means that this guy will get his money, but he's just afraid to collect loan. I said, no problem. I showed him what his gross profit margin. I said, guy, you have a gross profit margin of about 70%. You have a net profit margin of about 30%. This is a very healthy business. You have off-takers, so whether or not you always get customers. Why not taking this loan? So I said, you know what, let's take this loan. The guy was afraid. All I did to him was show him somebody who took a loan of 10 billion naira, who was younger than him. I know what the guy said. The guy said, guy, all die and I die. What's the worst that can happen? All die and I die. I've seen people, I had a roommate who did 7 years in university when he should have done 5 years. Simply because he had a missing script. The missing script was that the lecturer in charge of that script was somebody everybody was afraid of. And I don't understand why people were afraid of it. I had the same issue. I walked up to the lecturer, I sat down with the guy, negotiated with the guy, I said, look, Oga, I did this test, I did this assignment, here's the proof I did the test, this assignment, I did the document. Can I ask you to please bring out your attendance sheet? You see that my name is on the attendance sheet. I signed in and signed out, so I did the test. I submitted. Can you help me find out this script? This guy had the same issue. He was afraid. He said, if I went there, the man would walk me out. He said, what does it mean by the man will walk out? Okay. Let me assume truly the man will walk you out, which I don't think he walked you out. If he walked you out, what's the worst? He has already walked you out. It's still better than you tried, that you didn't try. I said, even if you fail, failure is evidence that you tried. I don't know if that makes sense. Are you guys here with me?
Yes, we're here with you. Failure is evidence that you tried.
The guy said no. I did it. I went there. I found my script. To cut the long story short, they wrote it to the Senate. A few weeks after it was convocation, my name was on it. These guys did 2 extra years for a course that made him wrote the exam together, but he didn't have the guts to knock at the door. How many of you don't have guts to knock at your next partner because you think the guy will say no? How many of you don't have the guts to talk to that big client? How many of you have the guts to click on posts because you think people will laugh at you? SW, SW, SW. That's something I say all the time. You know what SW means? If I need to make that cold call, I'll pick up the phone and make that cold call. Saying to myself, SW, SW, SW. You know what that means? Some will, some won't, so what? Does that make sense? Some will buy, some will not buy. If they say no, so what? I'll move on to the next person. Or die, now die. Gods. And of course, let's round up with God, right? And I don't know if you can do God, but I believe also our Christians, God is very simple. But I need to, if I was to do God, I would first of all define what God really is without shaking the tables of your belief system. God is not just somebody who is in heaven and comes down to you through manifestation of the Holy Spirit. That is very accurate.
Hey.
God is also everything in existence. God is everything in existence. I once read a book years ago, very deadly book. I will not advise anyone to read the book if you're not strong and deep. The book has been banned. First chapter of that book is the first page of that book is dedication page. It says this book is dedicated to my mentor Lucifer. That's how deadly this book is. But the guy said something in the book, and it still stuck to me. Right? And he says, look, I'm not sure if I should say this, so I don't. Let me leave that for sure. I want to have a question around something powerful. That if you have gods and you have God, you walk into a room that even if you fail, you will negotiate something out with you.
Yes.
So he was saying about the book, will you negotiate something out with you? And it was in the weirdest example. He said, look, dedicated to my mentor Lucifer, the first radical ever known to man and the first rebel ever known to humans. This is dedicated to my mentor Lucifer, the first rebel ever known to humankind and to the world. He says he rebelled against the heavens, even more in heaven. He left 1/3 with him and created his own kingdom, which is called hell. You know, I looked at that question and I said, this is very deadly. I should stop reading this book. But I thought about it and I said, look, how many people have contested for presidency in this country knowing that they will not win? Who went ahead and contested? That when they told them to step down, they compensated them with ministerial position.
I mean, we all knew they won't win. We all were wondering why they were still contesting, but they were still doing it. But they had the courage. And you'll be wondering that what's this one too doing on the list?
They are compensated in cash, in kind, and sometimes in political position. It's just how the universe works. Being in the room and being chased away is more powerful than not even entering the room. A baby's staggering walk, no matter how good it is not as good as the perfect. See, the most perfect crawl is not as good as the most staggering walk. Think about it. Would you rather have your child crawl? Everybody's clapping. He can crawl so much, but he never stood up to fall, walk, fall. Would you rather choose that? It's better that the child walks, fall, walk and fall. We'll cry, we'll laugh and say the child cannot walk. You'll let keep falling. We'll say, this baby is still better. He's making more progress than the guy that's crawling and not stood up to walk. God that you are serving, right? Expect you to show up and represent him with dominion. You are shortchanging and I don't want to say disrespectful to the heavens, but you're disrespectful to the heavens if you were born out of fertilization for egg to be fertilized, for sperm to meet the egg to be fertilized, which gives birth to embryo. Embryo gives birth to zygote. Zygote gives birth to a baby in the stomach. That over 10 million, you were the only one that survived. That's why like egg. How do you not know that you have 10 million people from birth, before birth?
Oh yeah, in the race of the sperm trying to hit the egg, you won. You won from conception.
You've been a winner from conception. How are you changing yourself and second checking yourself? Why are you having, what's that thing called again in psychology? Well, I don't know what to say. I'm trying to find the word. I can't remember what the word is, right? A lot of people doubt here, but there's a term for it in psychology, right? Imposter syndrome.
Imposter
you think
syndrome.
You're not good enough. You think you're not good enough. Do you know how you got it? How can you not think you're good enough? You're university, you graduated, you think you're not good enough because you made a 2-2. Do you know people wrote JAM and did not pass JAM? They will start with. Somebody believed in you. The problem is that everybody believes in you apart from yourself. And that is disrespectful to the God that created you. Because if God does not believe in you, he will not even put you here on earth. Every time the devil, and this is the devil's greatest tool, reminds you of your success, of your failures. Why don't you smile and remind him back of your successes? And even if you fail, you are not a failure. Life is like boxing. You don't fall, you don't lose a boxing match because they knocked you down. You lose a boxing match when you refuse to stand up. Does that make sense? You don't lose a boxing match because you fell down. They knocked you down. You lose when you can't stand up. That's why they count 1 to 10. If you can't, then they say TKO, technical knockout, or KO, knockout. That's just how it works. And I hope I'm able to inspire somebody here, show them that in the end, one key word is intentionality. Anybody can fall off a ladder by accident. Nobody climbs a ladder by accident. God is already not just in heaven, God is everything in existence. So even if the failure happens, there's a God in that thing. Even that failure can be a setup. You know, somebody said something, a setback is a setup for a come up, and it made sense. Even that setback is a setup.
Honestly,
right? So once again, my name is right, and I'm
you
hoping
have
to work with you guys.
inspired me. You have inspired all our participants, and our time is up. I wish we can extend this, but honestly, thank you so much, EIZU, for jumping on this call with me. You have dealt with the topic, making more money with grit, guts, and God in competitive markets. I mean, what you have done tonight is to stir up our minds to go into the thinking room. Daniel Uzodima on YouTube says this session last on Oga EIZU. If pre-conference is this hot, imagine how the main conference will be. I can only imagine. We are blown away. The Bible says that he who walks with the wise shall be wise, and the company of fools shall be destroyed. You said something in while you were talking. You said if we walk with people that have guts, we would have guts too. If you have seen the people around you take up steps, big massive steps, you will not be intimidated by taking such steps. You mentioned on the role of partnership being a game changer. In fact, you talked about 4 sheeps: ownership, leadership, partnership, and all that. I mean, I just wish I can do a recap, but thank you so much. And then you crowned it up with the God factor. That why are we allowing imposter syndrome reduce our dominion? Thank you so much. Everyone on this call, what message do you have to Mr. EIZU before I allow him go? Someone is saying thank you, sir. And Yola Adebayo says thank you, sir. Fortune Ogedengbe says what a session. Thank you so much. Blessing says even the setback is a setup. That's it. That's it. Thank you all so much. Grace says be intentional. Yes, yes, yes. Everyone says thank you so much. And on behalf of all the people that are streaming tonight all over social media, we're streaming on LinkedIn, we're streaming on Facebook, and we're streaming on Instagram and YouTube. We're saying thank you so much for pouring this out to us tonight. Hey, how many people are excited for what's to come? Before I let EIZU go, we're going on a short commercial break. We'll be back in a bit. Yes. We've been speaking with Mr. EIZU, is the founder of Xavier. And we've been having this conversation around, how you can make more money with grit, guts, and God in a competitive market. I want to remind you to not miss the grand finale on Saturday, March 8th, 2025, in commemoration of the International Women's Day. We're going to be having great sessions with amazing speakers. I don't want you to miss it. Come expectant, ready to open your minds to learn, to unlearn, and of course, relearn and network with goal-getters. And of course, you'll be in the room with people with grit. You'll be in the room with people with courage. You'll be in the room with people who carry fire. And I know that grit, guts, and God is contagious, and you will contact it even more in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you so much, Mr. EIZU. Let me unmute you so that you can say one last word for our people.
One last word, I've already said it before, let me just remind you, anyone can fall off a ladder by accident. Nobody climbs a ladder by accident. Be intentional.
Be intentional. How many people are ready to be intentional? I'm ready to be intentional. Thank you so much, Mr. EIZU. Shout out to all the team members. God bless you. Good night. Don't forget to share this stream with all your friends so they can watch a replay. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you, everyone. God bless.